Hi guys! Today we're going to talk about
the Puritan age
and the Restoration.
The Puritans were a religious movement that emerged in the mid-16th century, inspired by Catholicism and the belief in predestination. They considered material success a sign of divine grace. Facing persecution in England, many Puritans immigrated to America in 1620. Abroad, the Mayflower founding the first colonies.
In the 17th century, Puritans became a powerful middle-class group opposing the monarchy, leading to the English Civil War. During their short period in power, they imposed a strict and austere lifestyle. Theaters were closed, entertainment forbidden, and daily life was regulated by the Bible. Their religious beliefs deeply influenced the English and North American society, shaping moral values, social behavior, and private life.
With the restoration of monarchy in 1660, England entered a new period marked by freedom, pleasure, and social change. Public and private life became more open, and literature reflected this new spirit through political comedies. During this time, the first political parties were formed. The Whigs, representing the commercial middle class, and the Tories, supporters of the king and the church.
The growing prosperity of the middle classes increased their political ambition, leading to deep debates on individual freedom and the role of citizens in society. At the same time, the second half of the 17th century saw major scientific progress. Supported by Charles II, the Royal Society was founded, with key figures such as Christopher Wren and Isaac Newton. Advances in astronomy and physics helped establish the scientific method and laid the foundation of modern science. In the 17th century, alongside poets who continued the elegant Elizabethan tradition, a new poetic movement emerged: metaphysical poetry. This style reflected an age of uncertainty and political instability. Metaphysical poets wrote intellectual and argumentative poems, rich in wit and surprising imagery, drawing on philosophy, science, and religion.
Their poetry focused mainly on love and faith and was characterized by bold language, wordplay, and paradoxes, and the use of conceits. Unexpected comparison designed to challenge and intrigue the reader. Metaphysical poetry marked a clear break from the harmony of the Renaissance and expressed the reckless spirit of time. During the reign of Charles I,
theatre was very popular in England.
In 1642, when the Civil War began and the king left London,
the Puritan controlled Parliament banned all theatrical performances for religious and moral reasons.
They destroyed theatre and the arts, considering them immoral distractions.
Musical instruments were removed from churches, and after the king's execution, the royal art collection was sold to reject luxury and raise money.
However, the Puritans support basic education for all, through these reforms and with the restoration.
Okay guys, we are finished for today.
After that, I need to do an interview. I'm so stressed about it. Hi guys, today we're going to do an interview
with Lorenz Stern.
Let's start.
Can you briefly introduce yourself?
Yes, my name is Lorenz Stern and I am an English writer from the 18th century. I am famous for my book The Life and Opinions of Three Sunshiny Gentlemen. I love writing in a free and original way without following a linear plot because I think the human mind doesn't work in an orderly way. In my books, I use irony, make digression, and often speak directly to the reader as if we were having conversation.
And why do you constantly introduce the story?
Because life itself is full of interruptions and sudden thoughts.
Aren't you afraid the readers will get confused?
No, I believe having fun and think is more important than just following an orderly plot.
And why do you often address the readers directly?
To involve them, make them feel part of the story and surprise them.
And the last question I would like to do today is why is humor so important in your books?
Because loving helps us understand the human weaknesses and not take ourselves too seriously. For me, writing means playing with words and thoughts, exploring human feelings and showing that even imperfection has value.
Okay, thank you very much. We're finished.
You're welcome.
Hi guys, I'm here with John Milton. Let's start the interview. Can you briefly introduce yourself?
I was born in London in '68 and educated at Cambridge University, where I developed a strong passion for poetry and language. My journey to France in Italy, where I meet Galileo Galilei, deeply influenced my intellectual growth and confirmed my vocation as a poet.
And why did you decide to return to England instead of continuing your travels in Europe?
I returned because England was facing a serious political conflict between Parliament and the King. I felt it was my duty to take part in the life of my country and support the Puritan cause. I served as a Cromwell's secretary and wrote political and philosophical works defending freedom of speech and individual responsibility. After the Restoration, I was arrested, lost my public role, and became blind.
And how were you able to write your greatest works after losing everything?
It was precisely in suffering that my greatest poetry was born. In the period I wrote Paradise Lost, followed by Paradise Regained.
Okay, and that's all for today. Thank you.
Hi, I am Laura Sterna.
I'm John Milton.
Do you want to tell me about your work?
Yes, in this poem I set myself the task of telling a story greater than any earthly tale. The fall of man. I begin not earth but in hell where Satan, defeated yet unbroken in pride, resists against good and was eternal rebellion. I show how habitation and disobedience give a birth to evil, even when clothed in courage and eloquence. I then turn to heaven and to the creation of the world, where Adam and Eve live in harmony, free and innocent, bound only by one command. Tempted by Satan, who disguises himself as a serpent, they chose knowledge over obedience and fall from grace. Their sin brings pain, death, and exile, but also repentance and the hope of redemption. In telling this story, my purpose is not merely to narrate events, but to justify the ways of good to men, to explore free will, responsibility, and the tragic free cost of choice. Thus, my poem speaks of loss and punishment, but also of faith, hope, and the possibility of salvation. Now it's your turn.
Okay. I decided to tell my life by beginning with Tristan Shandy, but I soon realized that it is possible to do so in an orderly way. Even before my protagonist is born, I must stop to speak about his father, Walter, a man full of eccentric theories, convinced that a man's destiny depends on his name and the circumstances of his birth, and about his uncle Toby, a kind and innocent soul who spends his time reconstructing battles with models of fortification. Tristan's birth is marked by a series of accidents and Tristan's birth is marked by a series of accidents and misunderstandings that seem to doom is from the very beginning. Yet, instead of following his story, I constantly move from one episode to another, lose myself in digression, interrupt the narrative, and speak directly to the reader. More than telling a life, I take pleasure in showing how chaotic the human mind is and how useless it is to try to confine it within rigid order. Thus, through irony and affection, my novel tells not only the story of Tristram Shandy, but also the pleasure of storytelling itself and losing one's way along the journey. Okay, that's it. See you the next time.
Bye.
Perché mi stavo che la taglieremo? Perché la taglieremo?
No. During the reign of Charles I,
Theater were very popular in
was
Okay, guys, we're finished for. Okay, guys, we're finished. Dai!
with the restoration of monarchy in 1660.
Hai detto male?
Insieme, forever. I tri non funzionano.
If you want, I can come with you.
Yes, okay. Let's go.
E noi non l'abbiamo comprato, ma qualcun altro sì. Gioia.
Oh, non mi togliere il telefono. Ciao. Allora Lourdes. Sono stupendi, mica vedi. Leo, guarda, io ti voglio bene, ma questa esce. Fa schifo, non...
Le mie scarpe sono troppo fighe. Le mie scarpe sono troppo fighe, secondo me piacciono tanto alla Saccone le mie scarpe. Oh!
Ciao che tu dici. Ciao che tu dici.
Hi, I am Dora Sterna.
I'm John Milton.
Do you want to tell me about your work?
I begin. Yes, in this poem I set myself the task